Okay. Good morning to my fellow BAC members. The BAC Secretariat, headed by Engineer Brian Agusto. Members of the Technical Working Group, representative from the DepEd, Tiblac Elementary School. Sir, good morning. Tiblac High School. And representative of from the infra machineries. Good morning. Today, August 3, 2023, is the private conference for contract ID number 23BI 00105, One Civil Works, and three goods and services. This morning, we have two activities. That is the opening of the private conference for One Civil Works, three goods and services, and opening of bids for five goods and services. And also, good morning to our YouTube live viewers. But before we start, may I request everyone to please stand for the opening prayer. Thank you.
Wisdom, source of intelligence. We welcome you to this auspicious gathering, an august moment for the pursuit of knowledge that is offered for the glory of your name. We do not wish to ask you more than just you joining us today, but we look forward to your heavenly grace to amplify the desire for truth, to look up for and become prudent to learning. Keep us grounded in your love and mercy as we traverse a challenging path to keeping the inclination of understanding you and your most awe-inspiring creation. Be with us, O Lord, and send your Spirit on us to maintain an earnest desire for knowledge, truth, and understanding you, the guide of the wise, the stronghold of the learned. This we ask through Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. May I request the head of the secretariat to please post in our video screen the invitation to our observers for today's private conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to everyone. Here is the invitation to observers dated July 27, 2023. Notice to observers for our first official observer is from the resident auditor, Commission on Audit, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. Our second observer is Mr. Caridad Corridor, National Coordinator from the Philippine Partnership for Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas or PhilDHRRA. And our third observer is Engineer Gladys G. Tuburcio, alternate observer from National Contractors Association of the Philippines Incorporated, Aritao, Nueva Vizcaya. And kindly post the other notice of observers from the DepEd. Ito po ang notice of observer, sir, to our DepEd, Mr. Orlando Emmanuel, PhD, CESO 5, School Division Superintendent, School Division of Nueva Vizcaya, Bayongbong, Nueva Vizcaya, sir. Duly received last July 27, 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Augusto. May we have the attendance, please, for the determination of quorum? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A pleasant morning to all and to our Facebook Live viewers for today's activity, which is the private conference and opening of goods for the goods and services under shopping. Without further ado, here are the roll call for the attendance for the bids and awards committee composition. Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe,
Present.
Back Vice Chairperson, Chief Quality Assurance Section, Madam Veronica G. Lodovico,
Present.
regular back member, Chief Administrative Section, Engineer Jermin B. Buenavista, provisional member and user from the Planning and Design Section, Architect IBO Salazar,
Present.
provisional member for all types of project procurement, Engineer Bayani F. Molina, provisional member
Present, sir.
and user from the construction section, and Engineer Larissa Blanza, provisional member and user for goods and services from the maintenance section. And for the roll call, sir, for this back secretariat, yours truly, Brian A. G. Augusto, head. And sir, nakalimutan ko po from the Equipment Services Unit, Engineer Peter Paul Domasgas, representative from the maintenance section, sir. And let me continue, sir, for the roll call for the back secretariat. Yours truly, Brian A. G. Augusto, head. For the back secretariat members, we have Remigio A. Santos, member, secretariat. Ande Erica Fatima P. Cabang, back secretariat. Allen Edward G. Damaso, back secretariat. Miss Lutgarda D. Reyes, back secretariat. And Miss Simonette T. Locarda, back secretariat member. And for the technical working group, sir, who are present here for today's activity, we have Engineer Reden A. Milyare, member. Miss Diane Sheldon B. Balico, member. Engineer Myrtle G. Degamo, member. And for the observers, sir, who are present here for today, we have Sir Romy R. Baladad. Good morning, sir. School head from Tiblac National High School. Good morning, sir, and welcome to our private conference. And for our prospective bidders or suppliers, we have the presence of Mr. Ryan Sarandi, sales executive from Infra Machineries, and Mr. RJS Agsalud, sales supervisor from the Elite North Auto Cars, and Mr. Raul Aquino. Ano to, sir? Genesis sales from Genesis. And for the technical personnel, sir, who prepared for the plans and the ADs of the project to be private today from Tiblac National High School, we have Engineer Jerry A. Tan, Engineer 2 from the Planning and Design section. Sir, majority of the Ay,
Sino ba?
si Ma'am Carol. Sorry sir, we have acknowledged the presence of Madam Carol Lagula. Good morning po ma'am and welcome to our private conference. And sir, majority of the back members are present.
Okay, thank you, Brian. But before I will make the decision that there is a quorum, may I request you to please let Engineer Carol Lagula sign the attendance, please. Attendance. Okay, thank you. Since there is a quorum, the back chair now declares that this activity, the private conference, and opening of bids for goods and services is now officially in order. Let's go to the first activity, which is the private conference. Private conference is in accordance with Section 22 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulation and the latest GPPB issuances. In accordance to Section 22.1, it says here that for contract to be bid with an ABC of 1 million or more, the BAC shall convene at least one private conference to clarify and or explain any of the requirements, terms, conditions, and specifications stipulated in the bidding documents. Under Section 22.2, the private conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 days from the PhilJAP's posting of the invitation to bid or bidding of documents. Under Section 22.3, private conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial component of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the private conference. The private conference is open to prospective bidders, but attendance shall not be mandatory. Under Section 22.4, the minutes of private conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the private conference and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the BAC amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental and or bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. The agenda for the private conference are the following. 1. Basic contract data. This will be discussed by the technical personnel who prepared the plans and program of work, including the approved budget for the contract. That is, in case that is a civil works, and then if in case of goods and services, particularly for equipment, this will be discussed by the head of the equipment from the maintenance section. The basic contract data for Tiblac, that is contract ID number 23BI 0105, that is the construction of 2 units, 2-story, 6-classroom Tiblac National High School at Ambaguio, Nueva Vizcaya, will be discussed by Engineer Jerry Tan from the Planning and Design section. Number 2, agenda. The requirements of bidding documents will be discussed by the head of the procurement unit, Engineer Brian Augusto, to include number 3, agenda. That is documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. Number 4, agenda, which is the criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, will be discussed by architect Ivy Salazar. Number 5, agenda. This will be about questions, comment from the bidders, and replies of back and other representative of the procuring entity, if a question or comments will arise during the private conference. Number 6 is the other matters to be discussed. And number 7, agenda, is the summary of proceedings, including bid bulletin, to be issued if there is any. So let's go now to the private conference for the civil works, particularly for contract ID number 23BI0105, which is the construction of 2 units, 2-story, 6-classroom, Tiblac National High School, Ambaguio, Nueva Vizcaya. For the information of our prospective bidders, to include the representative from the DepEd, this project was bid out last July 11, 2023. However, the bidding was declared failure for reason that the lone bidder, which is the joint venture of BRG Construction and EM Bayatan Construction, was declared failed in their eligibility processing for reason that the work experience category does not match to the contract profile for major work category. In the afternoon of July 11, 2023, the contractor submitted a motion for reconsideration regarding the declared failed of their eligibility for reason that they have a project which is more than 50% of the single largest completed contract, but the project was implemented outside the DPWH, which is in NVSU, Nueva Vizcaya State University institution, wherein they have a project which is more than the 50% of the approved budget for the contract. This office have requested a motion to unlock the eligibility processing. However, the procurement services denied the motion of our office to unlock the eligibility processing, and the back, therefore, in the proceeding, declared the bidding a failure, and the back rescheduled the rebidding of the said project. And today, August 3, is the pre-bid conference for the said project for contract ID number 23BI0105. So, Engineer Jerry Tan will discuss the basic contract data for that particular contract, hoping that we will be inviting not only one contractor, so that the bidding will be more competitive, and hoping that the bidding will be no longer declared a failure. Engineer Jerry Tan, please discuss the basic contract data for the construction of 2 units, 2-story, 6 classroom at Tiblac National High School. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. I am Jerry Ten II from Planning and Design section, and I am here to discuss our project entitled Construction of 2 units, 2-story, 6 classroom, Tiblac National High School, located at Ambaguio, Nueva Vizcaya, with a contract ID number of 23BI0105, an indicative approved budget for the contract of 40,400,000 pesos. Our project description for this school building was construction of 2 units, 2-story, 6 classroom school building with a total calendar days of 235. Our cost of bid documents with amounting of 25,000 pesos, and for our source of fund is 2023 Basic Educational Facilities Fund or BEEF with the pickup license size range of medium A. Next. Next po. This project is a parallel 2 units, 2-story, 6 classroom school building, and based on the actual situation, we need to have cut and fill portion on the side and propose slope protection on both cut and fill section. Next slide, please. This is the actual condition on the site. Next. This is another geotag photo. Next. This is our typical section showing proposed rubble concrete slope protection for our proposed school building. Next. This is our site development plan. Our school is located along Provincial Road. The left arrow is going to Ambaguio town proper, and the right arrow is going to Bayombong. We can see our proposed school building at the lower ground portion of the school area. The scope of work for this project includes the construction of foundation to column, beams to roofing, plastering to painting, common comfort room for each floor for male, female, and PWD. We also have proposed transformers for each building and also fire pump and fire alarm bell. Next slide. This is our proposed floor plan. Next. For our front elevation and rear elevation. Next. Our proposed typical section. Next. And for our roof plan section. Next. For the exact location of our proposed project, we can see the red arrow to the left of the screen is going to Ambaguio town proper and the blue arrow is going to Bayombong. We have 16.5 kilometer distance from Bayombong Town Hall to Tiblac National High School. Our source of construction material is at the Bayombong Market, and our source of aggregate is at Vista Alegre Quarry at Bayombong with approximately distance of 17.9 kilometer. Next. That's all po. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any comments, queries from our YouTube live viewers in order to explain just in case there is a question or query? So with that, do we have any amendments from the bidding documents as posted in the DPWH website and also from the PhilJobs website? From the provisional members from the Planning and Design section, do we have any amendments for that particular contract?
I have no amendments, Mr. Vice Chair.
How about the provisional member for all type of procurement?
I have no-
Architect Ivy,
I have no amendment, sir.
noted. How about the regular member of the back, Madam Beron?
No amendment, Mr. Vice Chair.
Okay. Since there is no amendment to the basic contract data, of contract ID number 23BI105. Therefore, we're going to sustain or maintain the bidding documents as posted from our DPWH website and also from the PhilJEP's website. Thank you. So we go now to the private conference for the goods and services. We have number one is contract ID number 23GBI 135. This will be discussed by, the name of the project is Procurement of One Unit Pickup FX for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. The basic contract data will be discussed by Engineer Peter Paul Dumagas from the maintenance section. Thank you.
Thank you po, Mr. Chair, and good morning, everyone. I am Peter Paul Magas, the District Equipment Service Unit Engineer, and we'll be discussing you about the details of the service vehicles and the heavy equipment that our district wish to procure. Starting with number one, no, with the contract ID number 23GBI35 and a project name of Procurement of One Unit Pickup FX type for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. The location of the project is the DPWH Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya, with an indicative approved budget for the contract or ABC of 1,150,000. The duration is 30 calendar days upon the issuance of NTP with a bid document cost of 5,000. The source of fund is the DPWH fiscal year 2023 capital outlay or EAW. The basic technical specifications for this equipment is number one, no, for the engine, it should be 4-stroke inline type. The rated power is at least 125 to 150 horsepower. Transmission of at least 5-speed manual with overdrive. And it should be air condition equipped with a cab door of at least mechanically operated and a cab window of at least mechanically operated, with at least equipped of tuner radio and 2 speakers. It should be fuel fed with diesel with a capacity of 60 liters and should be Euro 4 compliant. Sa number 2 naman po, with the contract ID number,
Okay, for core contract ID number 23GBI135, do we have any comments or questions from our prospective bidders? Cecil? There is none? Okay. We go to contract ID number 23GBI136, which is the procurement of 2-unit mini dump truck for use of the DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. Again, Engineer Peter Paul Dumagas, kindly discuss the basic contract data for contract ID number 23GBI136. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Second po, sa contract ID number 23GBI36, with the project name of Procurement of 2-unit mini dump truck for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office, with the location of project at DPWH Bayombong, Nueva Vizcaya, with an indicative approved budget for the contract or ABC of 6,640,000. A duration of 30 calendar days upon the issuance of NTP with the bid documents cost of 10,000 pesos. The source of fund is still the DPWH fiscal year 2023 capital outlay or EAW. The basic equipment technical specification for this type of equipment are as follows. For the engine, it should be 4-stroke inline type ulit, with the rated power of at least 125 to 150 horsepower. The dump box capacity, it should be 2 to 3 cubic meters po. transmission of at least 5-speed manual transmission with overdrive, AC system equipped with a cab door of at least mechanically operated, cab window at least mechanically operated, with audio system equipped with tuner radio and 2 speakers, fuel fed of diesel, fuel capacity of 100 liters, and still should be compliant with the Euro 4 Act. Terms and conditions po, supplier must own service center and facilities in Luzon. Supplier must be ISO certified. Supplier must be accredited exclusive distributor of the unit being offered. Genuine parts must be available within the region 2. Supplier will conduct free orientation and training upon the delivery of our equipment with a 1-year warranty, and equipment should be delivered free of charge po sa ating district. Yun po yung sa number 2 natin. Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Dumagas. So, from our prospective bidders, is there any query, comments from the YouTube live viewers? Wala. So we go now to the last goods and services to be discussed, which is, it has a contract ID number 23 GBI 137. The name of the project is Procurement of 1 unit double cab drop side cargo truck for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. Again, Engineer Peter Paul Dumagas, kindly discuss the basic contract data for this particular contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And lastly, the equipment that our district would procure is the double cab with the contract ID number of 23 GBI 37, the project name of Procurement of 1 unit double cab drop side cargo truck for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. The location of the project is at DPWH Bayongbong, Nueva Vizcaya, with an indicative approved budget for the contract or ABC of 1,350,000. With a duration of 30 calendar days upon the issuance of NTP, with a bid documents cost of 5,000 pesos, and the source of funds still the DPWH fiscal year 2023 capital outlay. The details po or the basic equipment technical specifications for the double cab are as follows. Engine should be 4-stroke inline. Rated power of at least 125 to 150 horsepower. Transmission of at least 5-speed manual with overdrive. Should be equipped with air conditioning system, cab door and window that are mechanically operated at least, with an audio system or tuner radio with 2 speakers. Must be diesel fed with a capacity of 60 liters and should be compliant also with the Euro 4 emission. Terms and conditions, supplier must own service center and facilities in Luzon. Supplier must be ISO certified. Supplier must be accredited or exclusive distributor of the unit being offered. Genuine parts must be available within the region 2. And supplier will conduct free orientation and training upon the delivery, or at least 1 day po ng orientation. And the unit should have a 3-year warranty. And lastly, it will be delivered po free of charge. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
That's all. Okay, thank you, Engineer Peter Paul Dumagas. Of the 3 goods and services discussed by Engineer Peter Paul Dumagas, do we have any amendments for that particular contracts? May we have the reaction from the provisional member for goods and services, Engineer Larissa Blanza?
No amendment, sir.
Okay, noted. How about the provisional member from the planning and design section?
I have no amendments, sir.
How about the provisional member for all types of procurement, Architect I.B. Salazar?
No amendment, sir.
Okay, noted. How about the regular member of the BAC, Madam Beron?
No amendment, Mr. Vice Chair.
Okay, noted. Since there is no amendment to the three goods and services, therefore, we are going to sustain the advertised bidding documents as published in our DPWH website and also as published in the PhilJEP's website. We go now to the agenda number 2, which is the requirements of bidding documents, which will be discussed by Engineer Brian Agusto. Brian, please take it away.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairperson, for the requirement for the bidding documents for the bid data sheet for the contract ID number, which is Civil Works, with contract ID number 23BI0105. For ITB close for ITB close 14.24B, the minimum work experience requirements of the key personnel are the following. Baba mo pa. Kindly. For the project manager, minimum years of similar experience, same position is 3 years. Minimum years of total work experience, same position is 3 years. For the project engineer, materials engineer, foreman, and safety officer, minimum years of similar experience, same position is 3 years. And minimum years of total work experience, same position is 3 years. Accredited safety officer, required upon issuance of notice of award, subject to DO 98 series of 2014, submission of construction safety and health program approved by Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE. And first aider with certificate of training issued by Red Cross in compliance to DOLE requirements for the approval of construction safety and health program required upon issuance of notice of award subject to DO 98 series of 2014, submission of construction safety and health program approved by Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE. For ITB clause 14.2 A4, requirement for the minimum major equipments are the following. For the description, we have stake truck, required units is 2, dump truck, required units is 2, plate compactor, required units is 2, one bagger mixer, required units is 2, water truck or pump, required units is 2, and backhoe, required units is 2. And for the laboratory equipment, please refer to DO 11 series of 2017 for the minimum materials testing equipment and DO 127 series of 2018, strict application of Republic Act 9184 to conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed and ongoing contracts with the DPWH. Sir, these are the requirements for the bidding documents for contract ID number 23BI0105 for the civil works. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. How about the requirements of bidding documents for the goods and services? Please discuss. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, Mr. Vice Chair, Mr. Presiding Officer, for the requirements for the bidding documents for the goods and services for contract ID number 23GBI135 for ITB clause 14.1. The bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash, cashier's manager's check, bank draft guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit. Or B, amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is in surety bond. And for the requirements for ITB clause 20.2, licenses and permits relevant to the project and the corresponding law requiring it should be 1. Thank you, sir. And the number one requirement is mayor's permit. Number 2 is DTI certificate. Number 3 is PhilJEP's updated certificate, tax clearance, and number 5 is supplier registration certificate and CRC. And the item ITB close 21.2 is already discussed by Engineer Peter Paul Domagas, the ISO engineer. Thank you.
Thank you. So the requirements of bidding documents for goods and services applies to all goods and services, particularly for contract ID number 23 GBI 135, 136, and 137. We go now to the agenda number 3, which is documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. Again, this will be discussed by Engineer Brian Augusto. Brian?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairperson. For the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including the technical and financial proposal, sir, may we play the pre-recorded audio recording? Thank you.
Okay, please.
Technical and financial components. Number 1, technical component envelope, Class A documents. For legal documents, letter A, valid PhilJibs registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages. Or letter B, registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry for sole proprietorship or Cooperative Development Authority for cooperatives or its equivalent document. And letter C, mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. And letter D, tax clearance per EO number 398, series of 2005, as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For technical documents, letter E, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And letter F, statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. And letter G, Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB license, or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures. And registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. And letter F, original copy of bid security in the form of surety bond. Submit also the certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. And letter I, project requirements, which shall include the following. First, organizational chart for the contract to be bid. Second, list of contractors' key personnel, for example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, safety officer, and foreman, to be assigned to the contract to bid, with their complete qualification and experience data. Third, list of contractors' major equipment units, which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor, vendor, or the duration of the project, as the case may be. And last, list of contractors' minimum material testing equipment, which are owned as per Department Order Number 11, Series of 2017. For letter J, original duly signed omnibus sworn statement o OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary's certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or cooperatives, or original special power of attorney of all members of joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and to do acts to represent the bidder. For financial documents, letter K, the prospective bidder's audited financial statements showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total and current assets and liabilities is stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. And letter L, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, Class B documents. Letter M, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in accordance with the Republic Act number 4566 and its IRR in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. Number 2, financial component envelope. Letter N, original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and other documentary requirements under Republic Act number 9184. Letter O, original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. And letter P, duly accomplished detailed estimate form including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental used in coming up with the bid. And letter Q, cash flow by quarter.
Lord Wisdom, source of
Sir, that's all for the documents to be submitted by the prospective bidder, including technical and financial proposals for civil works projects. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's go now to the agenda number 4, which is the criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. This will be discussed by Architect Ivy Olivares Salazar, the provisional member for all types of procurement. Ivy, please take it away.
Thank you, sir. May we listen to the pre-recorded audio for agenda number 4?
Okay,
you.
please play the video recorded. Thank you.
Private conference, detailed evaluation of bids. For the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects, the BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive. But specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. Arithmetical corrections. Consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated price. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties, which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be basis for evaluation and comparison. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. Between total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. Between stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. between unit costs in the detailed estimate and unit costs in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the BAC its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of this IRR. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain all statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to the following. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of this IRR. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the infrastructure projects offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project for the procurement of infrastructure projects. Verification of availability and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment unit to be owned, leased, under, purchased by the bidder for use in the contract. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures, or substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractor from the award for the procurement of infrastructure projects.
That's all, sir. Thank you.
Okay, IB. Thank you for discussing agenda number 4. We go now to the agenda number 5, which is the comments, questions from bidders and other representative of the procuring entity. May we request the DepEd if there is any query or comments for contract ID number 23BI105, that is for the construction of 2 units, 2-story, 6-classroom building at Tiblac National High School.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'm Engineer Carol Lagula from DepEd. Just a point of clarification, sir, for the project description, the detailed project description of 2 units, 2-story, 6 classrooms for Tiblac National High School. Based from the project description described by Engineer Tan a while back, may I just clarify if, because I have not heard from him a while ago, discussing about if the project includes water system for each unit, sir?
Okay, ma'am, thank you. But before Engineer Tan will answer the query of Engineer Lagura, may I request the Secretariat to please post, pakita mo yung floor plan, yung mga elevations. I think that question were already arise during our first private conference. And I think that was, I personally asked that question. So pakita nyo mga muna yung location plan, elevation, and then medyo i-zoom mo yung floor plan para makita kung mayroong water system dyan. Kita ba? O nandun sa may plumbing layout, including the water line layout. Kasi doon sa may ilalim ng hagdan, andun yung CR, hindi ba? Okay, that is the ground floor. And then how about the second floor? Floor plan ng second floor. O yan, i-zoom mo lang konti yung nasa baba. Paki-move mo sa right. Again, there is also a comfort room in the second floor. Meron ba kayong pwedeng ipakita dyan yung plumbing layout o kaya yung cold water layout? Hindi na isama dyan. Okay? May I request Engineer Cherry Tan to please answer the query of Engineer Carol Lagula, the technical supervisor from the DepEd. Thank you.
Hello po, good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, we include water system on our proposed building, both first floor and ground floor and second floor. And for the water source, meron po tayong overhead tank sa pati nga po yung
So may roof framing plan, pakita nyo yung roof framing kung meron kayo dyan. So,
dito po nakalocate, ma'am, yung ating overhead
dun sa left side,
tank po. Yes, sir.
pakipa-zoom mo dun sa sa bandang left side. At the rear. Hindi, doon sa na yan. Yan. Okay. Okay, we have a space for the overhead tank. But the question is, what is the source of the water system? Is it a spring development or deep well?
Spring development, sir, and also we propose a pump, sir, na going to the roof deck of our proposed building, sir.
Okay, what you meant to say is there is a water source. The water source is a spring development. And then we have a catch basin at the ground floor and then pumping through the overhead tank?
Yes, sir.
So wala tayong deep well doon. Kung hindi, ang source is the existing water system or spring development at Barangay Tiblac. And then we're going to collect that water through a catch basin or a cistern at the ground floor. And then we're going to pump the water from the ground floor to the second floor.
Yes, sir.
O particularly not the second floor,
The roof
kung hindi
deck.
doon sa may roof, sa roofing, sa roof framing.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Ma'am Carol. So the source of the water is the existing spring development of Barangay Tiblac, and then there is a catch basin or a cistern at the ground floor, and then there is a water pump to collect the water and then transmit it to the overhead tank at the roof of the roof framing or the roofing, because there is a space allotted for the overhead tank. May I ask the programmer, what kind of overhead tank is that? Is it a concrete or stainless cylindrical tank?
Stainless cylindrical tank, sir.
Okay. Any reaction from Madam Carol?
Yes, sir. Am I made to understand that each unit has a cistern and water pump?
Catch basin.
Water pump lang, sir. In each structure.
Yung water pump doon sa existing line? Okay, siguro mas maganda kung mayroong catch basin or a cistern from the ground floor. And then from the ground floor, ipapump nyo siya. Kasi kung nakarekta kayo doon sa main line or distribution line of the existing barangay Tiblac water system, baka maagawan yung ibang mga end user doon sa existing water system.
Sige, sir. Naka-top to source lang po kasi kami dun, sir.
Top to source lang yung ano dyan doon. Pero para sa akin, mas maganda na magkaroon kayo ng cistern or catch basin sa ground floor to collect the water during night time para noon hindi nakikipagagawan doon sa mga end user ng existing water system. Hindi ba, Ma'am Carol?
Yes, sir. And again, for clarification, yung top to source ba, sir, is it from the reservoir of the barangay? Does it include the water line, yung distribution line ng water from the reservoir, or ano ba yun? Yung sabi nyo, top to source.
Within the vicinities lang, ma'am, yung available po sana dun.
Sir, ba kasi ano, nakikitap lang si school from the reservoir of a private individual. So wala po talagang nanggagaling pa sa barangay. Yung linya po ni high school ay nakikitap lang po sila, kaya nakikipag-agawan lang ng tubig. As per site validation, sir, meron tayong area doon within the school compound na pwede sanang mag-drill kasi hindi po nauubusan yun ng tubig. Baka pwedeng i-include natin, sir, sa design natin, para yun na lang po yung source of water, and then design na lang kung anong water pump ang gamitin, including the drilling.
You mean to say, Madam Carol, na wag nang mag-tap doon sa water system ng barangay, kung hindi, magsarili na lang siya through a deep well? Ganun ba?
Yes, sana, sir. Kasi wala pa po talagang existing water system si Barangay Tiblac connecting to Tiblac National High School. Ang source of water ni Tiblac National High School, it's either nakikitap siya sa elementary or nakikitap sa private individual.
Wala bang existing na barangay water system doon? Hindi nyo ba na IB? Hindi ba kayo nag-conduct ng investigation? What is the source of the elementary school? Owned by the school? Ma'am Carol, according to...
Hindi po, ma'am. Nakikitap din sila, ma'am, dun sa reservoir ni private. Meron silang pipe. Yun yung black pipe na ginagamit ni LM. Kaya nga nag-aaway si high school and LM kasi kung gumamit sa high school, nauubusan si LM.
Elementary school. Ma'am Carol, meron ba kayong alam doon na, kasi mas maganda para sa akin kung ang source ng water is spring development, kasi nga less operation expenses yun. Kesa naman doon sa magdidrill ka ng well, meron kang water pump, it will cost yung electricity.
Solar powered. Pwede bang solar powered? Yung pump? Meron kasi tayo, sir, mga ganong projects.
Hopefully, meron tayong solar pump na submersible pump kasi nasa bundok yun, baka yung water aquifer o kaya yung water table doon is malalim, hindi kaya ng shallow well pump, baka deep well tayo doon. Kasi drilling of a deep well is very costly. Especially kung deep well, kailangan sensitivity survey ka pa
Water,
to determine where is the water aquifer.
Yeah.
Hindi naman pwede na basta mag-drill ka. Pwede naman siguro na kung sakaling anyway, pwede naman siguro sa variation order yon, Ma'am Carol,
Sige.
just in case na mag-delete ng ibang item kasi very important ang water system.
Yes, sir. Yung sa estimate po nila, sir, clarify ulit. Again, may I repeat my clarification question? Is yung sabi mong water pump ba is for the both units or for each unit?
For each building, sir. Ay, ma'am.
For each building.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, for clarification, bakit kailangan mag-each unit yung water pump kung meron kang overhead tank? Siyempre, from the
Isang
cistern or
water.
catch basin, dadalhin mo sa overhead tank. And then, from the overhead tank, by gravity, susupply niya yung tubig yung ground floor at saka yung second floor.
And then iisa ang source of water nyo if
Ay,
it's
nga pala, dalawa
spring.
yung building. So, there are 2 buildings for
Sir,
Tiblac.
wala silang
So, kailangan.
Pero sir, sabi nila kanina walang cistern. Galing siya sa spring. So, iisa ang source. Iisa ang line. Bakit dalawa yung water pump?
Ma'am, siguro ang ibig nilang sabihin, kasi yung source is from the existing water system of the Tiblac. Isang water pump for one building, kasi dalawa yung building, kaya there are 2 water system or 2 water pumps, electric water pump, tigisa doon sa isang building. Kasi dalawa yung building natin.
I hope nakukuha nyo yung
But then there is no, as per from the information from the programmer, wala siyang cistern or cuts or wala catch basin, reservoir for each. Ano? Kung hindi, nakatap daw siya dun sa existing water line system. So direct from the water line, magpa-pump, dadalhin dun sa overhead tank, each building. So there are 2 water pump
Sir, kung
na naka-program, 1 each per building to be tapped from the existing water system.
kaya nga kung iisa yung linya na ang liit-liit, sir, 1 inch lang na hose. Doon mo itatap yung water pump?
IV, and then from your investigation, according to Engineer Lagula, the existing line of the water system is only 1 inch, catering elementary school and national high school. So kung magtatap ka doon sa isang linya na yon, maagawan, sabi niya, yung elementary school. Okay, okay lang naman, hindi naman costly yung cistern o kaya yung reservoir. But then, ang problema, according to Engineer Lagula, is yung discharge nung spring. Kasi nga, pag gumamit daw ang high school, nawawalan yung elementary school.
And paggabi, sir, pinapatay talaga yun, sir. Walang tubig paggabi. Kasi kinukuha ng mga may-ari ng reservoir.
Ma'am Carol, do you have any idea kung mayroong pang spring na malapit doon para nun magsariling spring development na lang yung school?
Siguro magsariling linya na lang, sir.
When?
Yes,
No,
sir.
kung mayroong spring source, i-develop na lang yon. Para noon may sariling spring development ang high school. Hindi na nakikipagagawan sa elementary school o kaya doon sa barangay end user.
Baka pwede, sir, na mag-construct ng reservoir doon sa malapit sa spring and then doon na lang yung pagkukuhanan ng linya. Direct to the school.
Oo. Sige, ganun na lang
Sige, ganun
siguro.
na lang, sir, later.
Ma'am Carol, kasi hindi nakaprogram yun, ah, early, sinasabi ko na as of this moment na kung magagawa ng variation order, siyempre, wala naman tayong additional funds, kung hindi, from the funds intended for the school. So, pwedeng hindi 100% magiging complete yung building. Kasi nga, we're going to construct a water system intended for the high school only.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay? So, Madam IB, Engineer Jerry Tan, and then also to the implementing unit, just in case ma-implement yung project, please take note na mayroong konting problema regarding dun sa water system para dun sa National High School. Kasi nga, sabi niya, nagagalit ang elementary school pag nag-open ng tubig o faucet dito sa high school. Kasi yung high school is lower elevation dun sa elementary school. Siyempre, by gravity, talagang pupunta yun dun sa high school. Mawawalan ng tubig ang elementary school. Okay? Any more question, Madam Carol? Kung ano pa yung gusto mong itanong?
Sa variation na lang, sir. Kasi di ba, tapos naman na yung ano natin.
Yes, ma'am. Tapos na kasi yung tapos na yung estimate, tapos na yung plano, tapos na yung approved budget for the contract.
Mm-mm.
So, aware naman ang DepEd representative na later on, magkakaroon tayo ng variation order to give priority to the water system. Kasi very important ang water system sa CR. Kung walang water system sa CR, nabangsit human data.
Yes, sir. Last question na lang, sir. Yung plano kasing ginamit natin, sir, nakikita ko lang yung floor plan. I think that is not yet the latest design because I have seen the latest design from the Bureau of Design, DPWH. Yung yung stairs paakyat po dun sa roof deck, sir, nasa loob na po ng building. Yung stairs na papunta doon sa water tank ay nasa loob na ng school building, wala na sa labas. Pero dyan sa floor plan nyo, sir, nasa labas pa rin. Yung second, sir.
Hindi ma'am, nasa loob siya, within the floor plan, hindi siya nakalabas.
Sir, yung kabila.
For exit yun, ma'am.
Nasaan yung second floor plan?
Ibaba mo nga.
Fire exit. That is the fire exit.
Saan yung hagdanan papunta sa
Nasa left side,
sa
ma'am
water
Carol.
tank? Okay.
Going up.
Okay.
Ano mo yung roof framing para mas ma-visualize ni Ma'am Carol kung saan yung hagdan papunta doon sa overhead tank. Roof framing. Roof plan. Nasa roof plan. Yan.
Ayun, yun. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Naka-covered, ma'am, yung hagdan.
Opo.
Ang naka-open lang, open portion, is yung sa may overhead tank.
Yes, sir. Noted po. Thank
Okay.
you.
Any more question, Ma'am Carol?
No more further questions, sir. Thank you very much po.
Okay. Implementing unit later on, please take note doon sa mga napag-usapan. So, number 6, agenda is other matters to be discussed kung meron pa. From the planning and design section, kung meron pa kayong i-discuss. From the, other members of the BAC, meron pa ba kayong gustong sabihin before we go to agenda number 7, which is the last agenda? Madam Biron, do you have any announcement or other matters to be discussed in this private conference?
Mr. Vice Chair, I have no other matters to be discussed.
How about the provisional member for all types of procurement, Madam IB?
None, sir.
How about Engineer Jermaine Buenavista, sir? Do you have any other matters to discuss?
I have nothing to say na, sir.
How about Madam Larissa?
None, sir.
Okay, thank you. How about the head of the procurement unit. Do you have any other matters to be discussed? Huh? Other matters regarding training?
None, sir.
Okay. The last agenda for the private conference is summary of proceedings, including bid bulletins, to be issued. We have already discussed agenda 1 to 6. That is the summary of the proceeding. With regards to the issuance of the bid bulletin or addenda, there is no addenda to be issued for one civil works and 3 goods and services. Therefore, we are now through or finished with the private conference. Thank you. The second agenda is the opening of bids for the 6 goods and services, but then the opening of bids for goods and services does not require a live opening of bids in the YouTube. So we can end the proceedings for the private conference. May I, before we end the private conference, do we have any announcement from the procurement unit?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chairperson, we have a announcement reminder, sir, for the next procurement activity.
Okay, please.
Thank you, sir. For the next procurement activity, which is the opening of bids, is scheduled on August 8, 2023 at 9:01 a.m. Venue, PRU Bidding Room, Main Building, DPWH, and the First DO Bayambong, Nueva Vizcaya for the procurement of 1 goods and services, sir, with contract ID number 23GBI45. Name of the project, procurement of 1 unit soil non-nuclear electrical density gates, EDC, etc., for use in the quality assurance system. Location of the project is DPWH Bayambong, Nueva Vizcaya, with an indicative approved budget for the contract or ABC of 998,000 pesos only, with a project duration of 45 calendar days, with a cost of bidding documents of 5,000 pesos, and with a source of fund of DPWH's fiscal year 2023 capital outlay or AO. That's all, sir, for the announcement and the reminders. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Brian Augusto, the head of the procurement unit. But before we have a motion, may we request, hindi yata sila nakapirma? Ha? Mga suppliers natin, they are from Power Truck. Saan sila daw interested? Sa mini dump truck. And then how about yung isa? Sa may double cab naman sila. So, sa may contract 136, yung sa may mini dump truck, sa double cab, yung, and then, doon sa pick-up na FX. Meron na bang FX na pick-up ngayon? Ano yung FX? So, who is the representative of the interested supplier or bidder doon sa 23 GBI 13? Tapos, sino yung doon? Interested bidder natin doon? Okay. So, thank you. Kala ko, nabanggit ba sila kanina? Hindi yata. Okay, thank you. So, meron pa bang pahabol na query dyan? Or comments? Suggestion? Before somebody else will say, I move. Wala na? Okay, from the members of the back, any motion for adjournment?
Mr. Vice Chair, in as much as we have finished the agenda for the private conference for 1 infra and 3 goods and services, I now move that the private conference be adjourned.
Any second the motion? It has been moved and seconded that the activity for today's private conference is now officially adjourned. Thank you everyone. Maraming salamat po sa ating lahat. And salamat din doon sa ating YouTube followers. Again, maraming salamat and good morning to everyone. Thank you.